So the investigation into Trump's connection with Russia just got serious in a way that I didn't expect. So listen to this. This is from Bloomberg. The U.S. Special Counsel investigating possible ties between the Donald Trump campaign and Russia in last year's election is examining a broad range of transactions involving Trump's businesses as well as those of his associates, according to a person familiar with the probe. FBI investigators and others are looking at Russian purchases of apartments in Trump buildings, Trump's involvement in a controversial Soho development in New York with Russian associates, the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow, and Trump's sale of a Florida mansion to a Russian oligarch in 2008, the person said. The investigation also has absorbed a money laundering probe begun by federal prosecutors in New York into Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. What this means is the investigation that started out as, we're going to look into the Russia ties between, the campaign and the Kremlin, between Trump and Russia. It started out as that. Now it's branching out. It's not just that anymore. Now it's becoming an investigation on the general corruption and business ties between Trump and basically everybody. I mean, if you're talking about, Paul Manafort and the money laundering between him and Russia or pro-Russia elements in Ukraine, well, now you're having a very serious conversation about things where, they probably did it and they're probably massively guilty. So the thing that tipped me off, though, to show me, this is like Mueller's doing a real investigation here, and there could be real things uncovered, and this isn't just hysteria, is they mention how Mueller is using a lot of the information that came from Preet Bharara. Now, Preet Bharara is a U.S. attorney who Trump fired. Why did Trump fire him? Because he was looking into the corrupt connections of Tom Price, who is Donald Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary. Now, we already know Tom Price is one of the most corrupt politicians out there. I know it's hard because the whole fucking thing is a swamp, but he's the swamp king. Because here's a guy who traded $300,000 worth of health stocks and then proposed bills directly affecting the stocks that he just bought. I mean, look, we have lax campaign finance laws, corruption laws here in the U.S., but, I mean, that may violate them. That may actually violate them. So Trump learned, hey, this U.S. attorney, who, by the way, he said, you're going to stay on. When Trump learned that Preet Bharara was looking into his administration and had some real dirt on real corruption, he was like, anyway, you're fired. So now Mueller, who's the special investigator for Russia, because Jeff Sessions recused himself, it started out as, we're going to look into the ties Trump-Russia, and, we're going to see what's going on here, and election meddling and collusion. No. Now it moved beyond that, because, again, that's, as I've said a million times, if the argument is, hey, it was maybe Russia who gave the information to WikiLeaks, who ran the WikiLeaks stuff, and maybe people in Russia told Trump information on Hillary Clinton. I file that under whoop-de-frickin-do, who gives a shit. Hillary did that with Ukraine, tried to get dirt on Trump. So, but while that I think is hysteria, that aspect of it, this is not hysteria. This is looking at a billionaire and his lackeys and the corrupt deals that they've made behind the scenes and the various crimes that they've been involved with. Now, remember, Michael Flynn is another example of this. Michael Flynn took a tremendous amount of money from Turkey, and then in a debate about whether or not to arm the Kurds to take back, I believe it was Mosul, or maybe Raqqa, from ISIS, he convinced the administration, no, we can't arm the Kurds. Now, hold on now. Wait, the Kurds are the most reliable ally and fighting force in the region against ISIS. Why would that not be the most reasonable path to take back cities that are captured by ISIS? Well, I don't know, but we shouldn't do that. Turns out he got paid $500,000 by Turkey, and Turkey, of course, is against the Kurds being armed because that's their enemy, and they've been oppressing the Kurds forever. So So in other words, Michael Flynn took money from a foreign government to do the bidding of the foreign government against, the policy that was determined as the best policy to defeat ISIS. That is corruption 101. So you have Tom Price being massively corrupt, $300,000 in held stocks, proposing bills and voting on the bills that affects his pocket and helps those companies. Michael Flynn doing dealings with foreign governments that are illegal and are in conflict with the policy that should be taken, which is best for the American people and for the world. Paul Manafort, we do know he was actually let go because of his ties to foreign governments. So that was not just hysteria and, the Democrats smoke and mirrors. That was, no, seriously, we have the records of this guy taking money from, pro-Russian elements in Ukraine and doing favors for them. And potential money laundering. Again, this is all stuff I think Preet was looking at. I know he was looking into the stuff for Tom Price. He may have been looking into it for other administration officials too. So, and now, when they say to Trump, hey man, look, we're just letting you know that this investigation, it might start out as one thing, but if we need more information and it takes us down a path and we learn other facts, hey, it is what it is, so we might need to look at your business record. And Trump flipped out. He flipped out. Oh, you're going to look at my money? You're going to look at my records? You're going to look at my income? You're going to look at where I'm getting all that? I don't know about that, man. I'm pretty sure that you're just limited in the scope of what you can look at to just the Russia thing. So, see what he's doing? Only look at the Russia election meddling thing. He's doing that because, look, on that front, like I said from day one, there's really not much there. But if you broaden that out a little bit and just look at the general corruption of the Trump administration, oh, you're going to find a lot of corruption, son. You're going to find a lot of corruption. I mean, here's a guy he's over $1 billion in debt, mostly held on Wall Street. You think you're not going to find corruption and fucking backroom deals? You think you're not going to find? Guys, they're trying to dismantle Dodd-Frank day by day. Deregulating a little bit here and there. Let's go. Let's totally take it apart. You think you're not going to find information of Trump or somebody in his administration sitting down with people on Wall Street saying, look, we will lower the amount of debt you have with us, so we'll give you a break on your debt if you pass this agenda. Deregulation, tax cuts, repatriation, so on and so forth. So now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere because we're not just talking about Russia hysteria. We're talking about general corruption of everybody within his administration and the sick backroom deals that they've probably been doing since day one. And that we know in some cases they've been doing since day one. So now you're going to see. And by the way, how's this for a fact? Since Trump learned about this, hey man, he's not just looking into the Russia thing. He's looking into your finances. He's looking into your finances and seeing like where, you get all your money from and how, all that stuff. Trump says to his associates, hey, do me a favor. I now want you guys to go investigate the investigators. Go look into any dirt that there might be on people whom Mueller hired. What the fuck? That's some mafia shit. Oh, look, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. If you drop this investigation into me, maybe I don't release that in 2006 you strayed from your wife and we learned a little bit about that. Maybe I don't go public with the fact that we learned you donated to a Democrat in 2011. Or maybe I do go with that information and I let everybody know if you keep investigating me. You're going to investigate the investigators to get dirt on them so that when they find something you could say, oh yeah, well what about that? Wow, that is sad, man. These tactics are so fucking transparent, dude. And by the way, TikTok, how long until he can fire him? Until Trump fires him? By the way, how is that a thing? People talk about, oh yeah, he actually has the authority to fire the special investigator. Really? Then that's not a very special investigator now, is it? He doesn't have total independence now, does he? So, look, this is an instance where you guys know, I've been clear from day one that I think the whole Russia thing has been overblown. I mean, it's that simple. I think nobody's going to go to jail. Donald Trump Jr. is not going to go to jail for taking a meeting with a Russian lawyer. Nobody's going to get impeached. Trump's not going to get impeached over this. And by the way, even if he does get impeached, then you get Mike Pence and you're right back to square one and you still have all the work in the world to do to stop the draconian agenda from getting passed. So I think it's just a giant waste of political capital. And to the extent that there even was communication between Trump and elements within Russia to get dirt on Hillary, I think chances are likely that whatever dirt they would give is true and the stuff we should know anyway. And also Hillary did the same kind of thing with Ukraine. So I just file that whole thing under I don't give a fuck. But if you start investigating and you're ready to bring some cases and you're ready to crack some skulls over the outright corruption of Tom Price, investing $300,000 into health stocks and then doing the bidding of those companies and trying to help those companies with legislation to get yourself rich and get them rich. Can't do that. Going after Michael Flynn for taking the money from Turkey and then lobbying without disclosing anything, but getting the U.S. to move away from a policy that Turkey wouldn't like. If you talk about Paul Manafort and potential money laundering, if you talk about, Trump's ties, business ties all around the world, which have led to corrupt decisions being made and policies being pushed for, now we're getting into real meaty issues where there's smoke and there's fire. It ain't just hysteria. And again, the main key was that Mueller was taking a lot of the case that was built by Preet Bharara, who was a real, a serious actor here, really going after actual crimes. So if you're going to take stuff from that guy and you're, basically carrying that torch, I know you're serious. And that's why Trump is scared to death. And that's why he's saying, no, only focus on the Russian meddling thing. And, he's saying, how about I investigate them? So, damn. It'll be interesting to see where this ends up. But I can guarantee you, if the investigation has indeed broadened to just a general corruption investigation, there's a lot of guilt all over the place.